Hi, I'm Jill Breen, and that's me on the beach, right here at Asilomar 3 years ago. Now I'm the new MANA president. MANA has been my home for over 28 years, and this ocean, the Pacific coast of California, is where I was born. I worked with filmmaker Nicolle Littrell on this little MANA video, taken from her footage, shot right here at Asilomar 3 years ago at MANA 2009. It could be the start of something bigger, but right now, it's our gift to you. Enjoy and celebrate our 30th anniversary together.
We are ancient, we are now, we are remembering, we know how. We are ancient, we are now, we are remembering, we know how.
Vean cómo vamos evolucionando.
Let's see how we go evolving ourselves.
Así como el fuego.
Just like the fire.
Amor, y fuego.
Samani, samani, samani lu. Samani, samani, samani lu. Itanuya yakumba. Itasanunga sakulu. Gracias.
I felt like with MANA, like I was coming to a new home. I mean, I just felt comfortable immediately and excited to be there. There was the singing, there was the Sage Femme Award. It was like being home. We were in the beginning of a small organization, and there was lots of conflict and lots of upsets too that we had to sort of make our way through. You have to go through the hard times in order to smooth out, and you have to grow up. I mean, we were really wild kids trying to get something together that, was sort of beyond us. So we got there.
Any group likes to have outsiders who can come in and say positive things about them. And the case for midwifery is a powerful one. Someone told me there was a meeting of midwives who actually wanted to form alliances across, who were then termed direct entry midwives and nurse midwives. And I remember going to the room, and the room was packed. It was overflowing. I was just standing outside, nothing to do with the meeting. But thinking, this is the direction midwives need to go. They need to unite and focus on the things that draw them together, rather than continually getting pitted against each other by outsiders.
I'm one of the, the co-founders of MANA, so I feel like it's one of my babies. The Alliance was kind of a language, of coalition, of grassroots protest and vision about how we work toward a more sustainable future. So Alliance kind of implied a circle of people, not with a hierarchy. How does the profession birth itself into existence and survive? And so it's a long struggle. It was not ever anything that was going to happen in a few years. And I think maybe some of us knew we were taking on a lifetime of work. Some of us probably thought it would be easier than it's turned out to be. But that's the way it goes with trying to create change.
I think that MANA is sort of the culture bearer for midwifery care. I think that this is where the heart lays. I come back every year to be reminded of why I'm an activist and to get hope, to really help me define what that absolute possibility looks like.
Well, MANA holds a space for the midwives model of care, for midwives from many different backgrounds, many different practice styles, whether it's a nurse midwife, a certified professional midwife, an uncredentialed but well-trained midwife. There are many kinds of midwives in MANA who come together to share their experience, their knowledge, to be together at these conferences. And MANA holds that space. MANA was where it started. And that's why it's really important that MANA continue to function in that capacity, bring us all together, let us all share what we know and learn from each other and support what each group is trying to accomplish. If we don't have coordination and if we don't support one another, then the mothers, the families won't have a choice of midwives if we don't keep it alive. And that's, I think, what MANA does.
It means a community to me. I think in my own personal life, probably more than anything else, it's a community. It's not only for women, it's for all of us. We're all trying to be born here and trying to avoid technology taking over every aspect of our biological being.
You know, what started out as a really small group of heavily marginalized home birth midwives to actually have the money and the power and the research behind our names now, I think is really exciting. And the thing with the participatory research really shows MANA's commitment to having this work benefit the mothers and babies in the communities where the researchers are working. And so I feel like that's also a very valid perspective to take. So we're hoping that this research won't be, just theoretical knowledge floating around in the universe. We would like to see researchers applying for this data set, working to answer whatever research question they have, but then applying those findings in a way that benefits mothers and babies, and that's the point.
I think midwifery is really opens the doorway to magic, all kind of magic to happen, because I think there's nothing more magical than birth. It just melts any kind of hard heart. It breaks down barriers. MANA is about midwifery, so it does have that key to that magical opening. But even beyond that, I think what MANA does is that it provides a soul healing food for midwives, so that they can detox from all the toxicity from the world and go back all renewed and rejuvenated to doing their work again. Birthing is about peacemaking. And if we can support MANA in being able to achieve its purpose, I think we are going to change history for the better.
I'm one of the pioneer midwives that was on the first wave of the natural birth movement. In 1974, when I was pregnant with my first child, I was arrested for the practice of medicine without a license. And so one of the things that has followed me through time is the Boland decision at the level of the California Supreme Court. And we chose to say we are not practicing medicine, we are midwives. And I am practicing midwifery, and it predates medicine, and therefore I have committed no crime. We started this concept of bridging the gap between the lay midwifery or direct entry community and the nurse community, and we did many workshops at ACNM and MANA. And I remember one where Ina May and I are holding our hands at the end of a presentation outside the door, and everyone's walking under our arms, and we're the symbolic bridge.
MANA really inspired me to take responsibility for the mess that was going on in California around the persecution of midwives. We had over 50 midwives that were either investigated or actually, and some went to jail for practicing medicine without a license. And our legal process was extremely complex and took 10 years, 7 legislative attempts to finally pass a law. MANA is about unity. MANA is about diversity. MANA is about creating a future that individually we can't see. When we put it together, we put our history together, we put the uniqueness of our pathways to coming to this profession together, we create something greater than what we have alone. We've come so far in terms of our organization as midwives. I mean, we really have got so much under our belt. We've got we have the infrastructure. We fine-tune it, we refine it all the time, but now it's really it's all about the woman again. It's not about the midwives so much anymore. It's about the women, and that's exactly where we should be.
There is no possible way to separate our passion and our dreams and our far-reaching, we won't ever stop until, mothers and babies and families have the care that they deserve. We're not going to stop till that happens. Ending racism is way too big. And I said, well, it's no bigger. It's no bigger than bringing the kind of care that we believe in to mothers and babies. It's not bigger than that. It's not a bigger dream than that. It's the same dream. we can reach for both of them, and we need to reach for both of them, so that the care that we want for mothers and babies really is about all the care for all mothers and babies.
We are going to bring a peace to the universe by learning about ourselves and sharing to the world, because we cannot do it all by ourselves. We have to mend the bridge that has been fallen, broken. All of us are going to work together and mend the bridge.
For those of us who are still connected by the string, it's an old blessing way ritual that is done all over the world, from what I understand. Symbolizes many different things to many different people. The umbilical cord that connects the baby to the mother, the heartstrings that connect the family to one another, the energy that goes between all the midwives and all the women in the community. It's just a little symbol of the connection that we have as birth workers, as midwives, as mothers, as grandmothers, as sisters, and as friends.
We are sisters on a journey.
Manna is the place that we all come to share, to cry, to laugh, and to learn about our history, where we've been, and where we're going.